Retail Management, Masters of Commerce, 4th semester, Mangalore University, Session 8. Introduction to Retail. In this session, you're going to learn about international retailing or retailing in other countries. Learning objective to gain knowledge about the retailing in other countries. Session outcome the students are able to discover the challenges faced by the retailers in international retailing. International retailing. Ever since international retailing started getting recognition in the industry, several academicians as well as industry experts have tried to come up with exact definition. The attempt to define international retailing raised a legitimate question as to what exactly the retailers were internationalizing. Unless the correct fact was established, there could be no right definition. Some asked if the companies internationalized their management system, management expertise, or the brands. The famous international business researchers Johansson and Widershim Paul, who had studied the growth of Swedish companies, suggested that the term international can be attributed to the business orientation, the management style, and orientation. They further elaborated that in the first instance, the companies began exporting products to other countries, and further growth of business entailed setting up manufacturing facilities in the foreign countries. Though this might have been the trend seen in manufacturing organizations, the same has not been totally accepted in the retail sector. Experts have questioned the validity of the concept with reference to the service sector. They argue that manufacturing or the product sector can go international in a phased manner, but the same is not the case of the service sector. The nature of service sector being intangible and instantaneous calls for full-fledged operations of international standard to be set up at the time of opening up business in a foreign country. Studying the nature of transactions and growth of internationalization of other countries as well, the academicians have tried to see if the international business trends in terms of mergers and acquisitions, technology transfers, as well as transfer of marketing and management skills and training, etc., are required to be included in the proposed definition of international retailing. When one refers to international retailing, there are several dimensions of the trade that needs to be considered before attempting to come up with an apt description of the business. First and foremost is the invisible aspect of financial investments. Companies get into joint ventures and invest in the foreign retail company with or without management control. Secondly, we must look at the areas where the retail company is transferring knowledge or processes to the new setup. The retail sector, there can be many aspects of retail business, the know how of which are transferred to the new establishment. The business model, the management and operational policies and processes, financial accounting systems, supply chain model, as well as the retail store design and layout concepts, merchandising processes, and more importantly, the systems and processes that are used to manage multi retail stores and outlets can be transferred by the parent company to ensure an identical setup at the new location. Marketing, brand promotions, and customer management policies too will be shared to ensure standardization of processes in all areas across countries. Most companies would insist on ensuring that the new foreign outlets follow the same operational costing and accounting as well as reporting and measurement models as that of the parent company. The most important area that can be actually internationalized would be the sourcing function. Central sourcing and vendor management from multiple countries for multiple countries is the strong feature that characterizes the international retailers. Going above the above dimensions or the features, we can identify the international retailers from that of the individual brands and other international traders. Challenges. International retailing and branding has been one of the sectors that is seeing exponential growth. With the increase in standard of living, disposable income, people in developing countries are getting exposed to international brands. Rise of internet and multimedia has further provided impetus to the dream of people to aspire for branded consumer goods. Along with the rising awareness and aspirations of the people, the opening up of economies and foreign direct investment opportunities have fueled the growth of international retail business. International retail business International retail business consists of two groups of business. The biggest value and the volume business happens to be international multi brand grocery retailers like Walmart, Tesco, Metro, Carrefour, etc. The second group of international retail business refers to the fashion brands, mainly in fashion, luxury brands, and personal product category of businesses. In this topic, we aim to explain some of the characteristic features and challenges of the second group of international retail business dealing with fashion and brands. Brands such as Ralph Lauren, Hugo Boss, Gap, Dolls, Dolls and Gabbana, that is D&G, Armani, Louis Vuitton, and many more are well known all over the world and are available at exclusive showrooms in various countries. In the past 2 or 3 decades, all these brands have grown to become global brands, and this has been made possible by their strategic branding, multi product range expansion, and innovative merchandising methods. Though international retail companies are global businesses, the business and products are hugely influenced by the multicultural and pan country specific product requirements. The product categories largely comprise of fashion clothes, food, gadgets, as well as personal and luxury products. Each country and each market is characterized by different fashion trends and consumer behavior. While the products are fast moving and have very short shelf life, the local culture and outlook has a large part to play in the localization of the international brands in domestic markets. These global companies, therefore, are focused or forced to work on global branding as well as local brand promotion and have international as well as domestic country specific customer reach programs and marketing as well as promotional methods. International retail companies have several inherent challenges that they face in their line of business. Product innovation and product mix happen to be the biggest challenges for these companies both at global as well as country specific domestic levels. The survival and growth of the brand is directly dependent upon these challenges. The global retailers have to be tuned into the international as well as domestic specific fashion in each of the countries and get their product mix right for each of the markets. Service quality and merchandising methods too play an important role in the brand visibility and reputation. Pricing of products is yet another challenge faced by the brands. Developing and emerging markets are highly price sensitive. When the international brands are trying to make an entry into the new markets, they have got to have an entry strategy that takes into account the price sensitivity and profitability as well. Procurement and supplier reliability as well as quality marks one of the challenges that these companies face as they happen to source materials and products from several countries. Quality and reliability as well as the time supplies and logistics is always a challenge that can make or break the business, which is highly seasonal in each country. In the recent years, we have seen the emergence of ethical practices playing a vital role in the procurement policies of these international companies. The companies have got to ensure that their sourcing patterns do not employ child labor or employ unethical methods in manufacturing the products, and as principal buyers, these companies are held responsible. Ethical buying has gained global visibility, and these companies have had to be watchful to ensure compliance or risk unwanted publicity and public outcry. International retailing business is high volume business. To be a successful international brand, the companies have got to adopt the right strategies, be aware of the local cultural as well as political environment in the market, and more importantly, manage the brand promotion and supply chain perfectly. The challenges faced by the business are several, but so are the business opportunities. Retailing in other countries. India. In India, the retail industry is divided into organized and unorganized sectors. The unorganized retailing includes the small independent retailers, the local kirana shops, owner operated general stores, pan or BD shops, convenience stores, and hand cart and street vendors. Most Indian shops in open markets and millions of independent grocery shops called kirana. However, India's growing, well-educated, aspirational middle class wants a more sophisticated retail environment and global brands. While the demand for modern retailing exists in India, entering the Indian market is challenging. As the world's largest pluralistic democracy with myriad cultures and 22 official languages, India actually is a conglomeration of discrete markets. In India, government regulation impede foreign investment in retailing. Non-Indian firms cannot have a controlling interest in retail firms and thus must partner with an Indian firm. Retailers must comply with a myriad of regulations before opening stores and shipping merchandise. For example, there are taxes for moving goods to different states and even within states. Walmart's entry into India is a partnership with Bharati Enterprises to open wholesale outlets called Best Price Modern Wholesale. The outlets are allowed to sell only to firms that register by showing tax documents that prove they own retail outlets. The development of organized retailing is being undertaken by industrial conglomerates that have limited expertise in running retail chains. China. Government regulations of retailing are much less onerous in China than in India, and direct foreign investment is encouraged. Since the lifting of most operational restrictions on international retailers, six global food retailers have entered India. Although much of this retail development has been in the large eastern cities of Shanghai, Beijing, and Shenzhen, these Tier 1 markets are approaching saturation for hypermarkets. The interior Tier 2 and Tier 3 markets are very attractive. China is rapidly developing the infrastructure to support modern retailing. Highway density in China is already approaching that in the United States. China has a number of high quality airports and a rapidly developing sophisticated railroad network. However, doing business in China is still challenging. Operating costs are increasing, managerial talent is becoming more difficult to find and retain, and an underdeveloped and inefficient supply chain predominates. Russia. In Russia, the impediments to market entry are very less visible but more problematic. Corruption is rampant with various administrative authorities capable of impeding operations if payments are not made. Retailers encounter severe logistical challenges in supporting operations in Russia. There are long delays at borders and ports and a scarcity of containers. Over 70% of international container shipments come through St. Petersburg port, which is very congested. Retailers often cannot rely on domestic products because the quality of products made in Russia is very poor. Finally, much of the purchasing power is concentrated in Moscow, where salaries are about double those in the other regions. But Moscow is already saturated with shopping centers. Next is Brazil. Brazil has the largest population and strongest economy in Latin America. It is a country of many poor people and a few very wealthy families. Brazilian retailers have developed some very innovative practices for retailing to low income families, including offering credit and installment purchases. Many low income customers go from week to week paying their credit card commitments. Most major retailers offer their own credit card facility with signing up booths at the entrances of their stores. The very wealthy Brazilians provide a significant market for luxury goods and retailers. Even though they are approximately 1% of the population, this equates to approximately 19 million people, a market just a little smaller than all of Australia. Thank you.